How about now? For whatever reason, my stuff was muted. How about now? For whatever reason, my stuff was muted. Alright, so I know it works. I don't know what that was all about. But hey, that's why you prepare in advance. Anyway, like I was trying to say before, this is AJ the CEO with my every Sunday afternoon live stream where we do church post production, where I try and do some tips and strategies to try and help those churches, whether you have 5 members up to 50 million members or whatever, learn some stuff that we're doing from a media ministry type of standpoint. I mainly do this because while I was working at my media ministry, we really didn't have any type of training, so I had to scrounge around to get a lot of this stuff done. So I'm just here to try and share with y'all the kind of stuff that I'm learning to help improve my media ministry at my church, and hopefully want to share that information with y'all. So I come here live every single Sunday, unless something else is going on, around 4:30, as long as I don't have any technical difficulties. 4 to 4, between 4 and 5. Let me put it that way. Is the best way I can say that. So, what's been going on in the world of media and the things that I'm doing right now? I forgot the guy's name. Hold on, let me pull up my YouTube channel here so I can see the comments so that I don't mess this guy's name up, because I appreciate him reaching out to me first off. It was... And while I'm doing that, I hope y'all had a great day at church. I was bouncing around at a bunch of places. Was at my home church, and then I went to Good Shepherd because I finished up their camera system install and gonna start training with them. Have some contractors coming up to finish up some stuff, close up all the walls and all the holes that I had to make. Gonna do a tour video of that, and that's a church that had absolutely nothing. No cameras, no internet, no on anything. So we're gonna walk through that. We did a complete network install through the entire building. Wi-Fi covers the entire building, which also led into a full two pan, tilt, and zoom camera systems, live streaming PC, Worship Extreme PC, integrating into their sound system, live streaming. We also got a new website design coming for them. Gonna probably be working towards some tithing online and a bunch of other stuff. So really modernizing their media ministry and taking advantage of that. And a phase 2 is really going to be what we talk about here, is how to share your message on social media and grow your e-congregation to 1,000 people joining every Sunday. So that's what we kind of talk about, to try and help media ministries, because we're more than just turning on the sound system, and we're more than just turning on the camera. We're ministering. So that's what this is about, and this is kind of a training. But while I'm looking for the guy, his name is, again, apologies if I pronounce your name wrong, Mauricio Barahana. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, but he pretty much asked about doing can I make a video for a projector setup from start to finish on the Mac. That has been recorded last night, so I got to go ahead and edit that. Thank again to Calvin Callahan. He is one of my fellow media ministry folks at my church. Let me borrow his Mac, so I recorded that and hooked everything up. So I just need to edit all that video out, and that video is coming soon. Another comment that I had from Nigel DK, it was a question of Worship Extreme versus Pro Presenter 6. Now, I'm being honest with y'all. We use Pro Presenter 6 at my church. That's only because at the time, that's what everybody was talking about, and I knew nothing of Worship Extreme. Based off of what we use at, you know what? How about we just jump in between both of them, since I have them here. So let me go ahead and get my stuff set up here. Let me close all my stuff on my desktop, and give me a second because I need to set up my picture-in-picture so that y'all can see me. So let's go ahead and switch over to desktop number 1. And let's go ahead and bring up our picture-in-picture. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and, where do I have it? I don't know why all of a sudden started my computer up and everything is looking crazy today. And I think I have, yeah, there we go, ProPresenter 6. So this is the demo version of ProPresenter. And like I said, in all honesty, this is what we're running at our church, just because at the time I did not know of Worship Extreme. And we were actually using Easy Worship. But that was the one when I talked about in our touring video. We had donated computers and it was really, 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 really slow because the computers were underpowered. Now, I'm not knocking ProPresenter. I like ProPresenter. The only thing is, and you can look at all the communities and everything, it runs on Windows, but it's almost like it caters more to the Mac. And I'm not a hater of Mac. I just don't like the fact that I can build a computer that gives more power than what I'm paying for in a Mac. So that's just me. But again, I've been building computers since military days. So I'm talking about like 97, in that range. And ever since then, when I was in college, I actually had the iMac, the colored ones that look like the CRTs with the color in the back. I had one of those, and that's right around when the first 1 gigahertz processor came out. So I built that computer and had both of them side by side. And I'm just being honest, that's why I went and intentionally bought one so that I would use it. And the Athlon that I had at that time just blew it out the water. So I'm like, I couldn't do it. And even when I was sitting back thinking about, as much as I've been doing video editing and everybody said video editing is a beast on the Mac and that's where you need to be, I did it from there. And ever since I had Sony Vegas and then went to HitFilm and then went to DaVinci Resolve, and 2 of those programs that I mentioned, HitFilm and DaVinci Resolve were free. I was able to do everything and it wasn't slow. So honestly, at this point, I have no reason to jump on a Mac. Not hating, but just being honest. All right, so while that's up, let's go ahead and open up Worship Extreme at the same time. And I'm gonna put this on screen number 2. And I need to do an update on this too. Go ahead and download that. And I'll put that on screen number 2. All right, so what do we use ProPresenter mainly for? I mean, mainly is to put up lyrics on the screen, to do announcements or now announcement videos there. So let's go ahead and actually walk through doing this. So this is kind of a mock-up of how we have our church service. And let me turn this off. So we do our announcements loop through here. And do I have this set up for monitor number 2? No, I do not. So monitor number 1. So give me a second. Let's switch this over here. Don't need that. All right, there we go. All right, so if I cut over to monitor number 2, as you can see, this is what normally is happening. And you see the watermark because this is a demo version. We have the main version at our church, but we don't have a site license. So that's the only reason why you still see this. I've encouraged all of our people to download this, make the changes that they need at home, and then they can just save it just like a document and upload it. So that's one of the main things that we use it for our announcements. And why does my camera keep turning off? There we go, I'm back now. All right, so that's the main thing that I have in here. And then we also do lyrics. Let's switch over there. And I've talked about this before. This is how I set up a lower third, everything that's in black. And I just shared it just now. Let me cut back over here. Just like at my church, at home I have a ATEM television studio HD, and this is how I mix and everything, and this is the same setup that I have at church. So like right now let me take away this camera here. So right now I have PC number 1, which you're looking at, PC number 2, which is the output from there, then PC number excuse me, that was PC number 1, monitor 1, PC number 1, monitor 2. Then I have another PC, which is my live streaming PC, which this is my mini live streaming PC, the one I always talk about, the mini ITX one. That's the reason why you can't see that one right now. The Sony is the camera that you see right here. PSX, that's my PlayStation hooked up to that whenever I start doing some gaming. And then 6 through 7 are empty right now. Don't really have anything to plug into it right now, so I can always plug anything else in. Then we have our media players here. We have our color bars here for testing. Black, solid color that I can change. Then our media pool, which I have the title of the show is set up. Media player 2, I don't have anything. So that's kind of what I use to switch back and forth between all my inputs here personally, as well as I do that for the clients that I work with. And that's a good upgrade for that. Anyway, that was an extra bonus there. But I say that going back to the output from the screen, the way that works is if I press, I can configure this here, DSK downstream keyer. I'm going to say it's monitor 2, PC 1, monitor 2. If I turn this on, let's switch back to here. Let me turn this off. And then this is how you can have those pictures in church. So if I come back, let's snap over here. So if I cut here and turn this on, this is how you can have your lyrics show up at the same time, superimposed on top. Now I can always dabble with this because I wanted this to have a color in there. So let me turn that off for a second. So this is where you would change the clip and the gain and stuff like that on how the colors would come through. But I'm not going to play with that right now. But that just gives you an idea of what you can do in your church. So that's one way. If you ever see anybody like, how do they put this stuff on the screen at the same time? This is how they do it. And any of the ProPresenter, Worship Extreme, Easy Worship, almost any presentation software can do this. So this isn't locked to any of those programs. So what else will I talk about? Oh yeah, the other stuff we do in ProPresenter. I'm not running Acrobat. So that's how we do that. Then we can, the same way we can put scripture up here. So let's say I come in here, and here's one thing, advantage for, oh, I'm not even showing you my screen. Hold on. All right, so here, like I said, we can do play music if we wanted to, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to get hit with anything. But you can load Bibles the same way in Worship Extreme. The only difference is you have to pay for the Bibles here. Worship Extreme gives you an option if you can find them in XML format. Hold on. Once again, I don't have my picture up here. Anyway, at Worship Extreme, the advantage is, yes, you can buy the Bibles there, but if you can find them in XML format, which is very easy for you to find online, you can actually install in many Bibles that you want. On here, ProPresenter, you have to pay for them. So let's say we come in here, James 1, 1 through 5. Scripture shows up just like that. And just as easily, we just go ahead and click there. And we'll do number 2. And then that's how the scripture shows up. And I can easily come in here and say we want to change the template. And I say, hey, I want this to take up full screen. I pick full screen. And now I wouldn't use DSK because if I did, well, actually that's full screen. Let me say if I wouldn't use DSK because how it will look is like this. Because the ATEM erases everything that's in black and it makes it look crazy like this. So in here, I would actually want to switch to the full screen of there. So now it takes up the whole screen of your scripture. All right, so that's ProPresenter. And ProPresenter, I mean, it has other features in there as well too that are not locked behind a pay gate, kind of like how Worship Extreme is. But I really don't see the justification of it. That's just me. So just like here, we can turn on the stage display. so that you can set up. This is you can customize this layout. This is what you can have, like I talked about at Good Shepherd. This will be a secondary, a tertiary output from your presentation computer, so that you're seeing what I just showed you. Actually, let me go back to that. So this screen here is what the congregation would see, but then you could configure another screen just for whatever group to see. So example, like a Good Shepherd, we'll have the third screen set up just for the choir to see. So the choir would see their songs here instead of having to have sheet music with them, and it would show them the page that they're currently on. And you can configure this to show, oh, another screen, the next page they're going to, or anything like that. Or you can have this as set up as notes for whoever's speaking. So that's one of the options that's built into Worship Extreme. Into Pro Presenter, but you have to be on the Pro or Pro Plus on Worship Extreme to do. There's some other features that are in here that you have to pay for under modules. So like if you wanted an alpha key out, you have to pay for that for a Pro Presenter, but I just showed you how to get around that. You have to have a switcher that can actually erase certain stuff, or you can do it in OBS. As long as it's a solid color, it can erase. So it's ways around that. But to have different effects, they have it behind here. So like if you had the Blackmagic mini monitor, which outputs an image, you can buy this module and it will output it on an SDI connection that can go anywhere. But my rationale is, why buy that when you can just push it out on the video card output that you have and convert it to SDI. So let's say we decide to go down this path. Let's look how much that is. So first off, Pro Presenter, you're looking at $3.99. So if you have Pro Plus, let's do the math. Worship Extreme Pro Plus is $25. That's times 12. You're right, you're around $100 less in 1 year. But with Pro Presenter, when you buy this, that's the only price you have to pay. So that's one thing you have to leverage. But again, I'm a big fan of you're able to do everything that you need in Worship Extreme without really paying for it. So that's just me. You have your choice. Again, I'm endorsing Worship Extreme. All the churches I work with, I encourage them to use that as a free option. But if they wanted something, or if they're adamant about Pro Presenter or Media Shout or whatever, I'm not stopping them. I just want to give them other options, because if I had known about Worship Extreme, that was the direction I would have gone in. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this out. Let's close this and let's see, can we do the same stuff with Worship Extreme? And I didn't install the update. Let's go ahead and close this and install this update here. And wonderful Windows wants to protect me. Let's update this. And again, I'm trying to, I think I had one of my subscribers who actually goes to my church. He was saying he was watching one of these and he was like, he said it felt like the content was over his head. And I said, because you're not in media. But I'm just trying to show what we actually do, because you never know. Other people might not be in media and they feel intimidated on about what they want to do, but I'm showing that, it's really simple. As long as you get examples on how to guide you through this. I mean, the hardest thing is trying to figure this out and you have no resource to figure it out. That's difficult. All right, so, I'm here in Worship Extreme, and let's just do the same stuff. So I'm gonna come in here, hit a plus, go to media, let's pick this one, and I think I didn't make it. I haven't made that one yet. How to do that picture in picture at the same time. I thought I did. Yeah, I thought. Is that it? I think this is it. No, this is a clock. But this kind of, you know what? I'm just going to use this as an example. It's a very, very bad example, but it will kind of give you the same idea of what could be done. So if I show this image here, and let's cut over to the second screen. So you see right now, it's just going to do a rectangle here in this corner. All right, so now let me go back here to our ATEM, and we're still configured to remove the black from PC number 1, monitor 2, which is this one. So let's go ahead and bring that up. Hold on. I knew that was coming. All right, so excuse me. So if I bring that, see, as you can see, everything was erased, but it's here. So we could easily expand this out all the way to here. And let's see if we could just make that real quick. Let's go here to paint. And actually, no. Let's do it this way. Let's go back to one of my favorite places here. We're gonna go to canva.com to show you how easy this is to make. I'm gonna create a design, let's say desktop wallpaper. Remember, we want to make everything in black because that's what it gets erased. And we're just going to do an element. Going to do a square or a rectangle, either one. And let's do it in this light gray. Yeah, we do it in that one. And we'll do it in that one. And I'm just going to do about the lower third of the screen. That's why they call it lower thirds. We're going to stretch this out. And let's be a little fancy. Let's leave a little bar right there at the bottom. All right. So we're going to just call this lower third. Let's download that. No, I don't want to buy this. I like to use the free one. All right, let me move this over here. And we're going to worship extreme, and we're going to go to our media. And we want to import some new media, which is the bar we just made. And it's in alphabetical order. All right, so it's right here. I knew I made this. I knew it. I knew it. All right, so now let's say we pick this. All right, so let's go back here, delete. And let's change our background to the one we just did, the lower third one. Oh no, not delete, check. All right, now I'm giving you some extra bonuses all here at the same time, and I'm hitting the wrong buttons. That's why my screen looks crazy. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so I'm here. All I did was go to media. I imported the new lower third I just made. Check that. Now it's here. Now what we're going to do is say we're going to do scripture on top and lower third is a template that I already made. Check out my videos on the Worship Extreme tutorials on lower third, on templates, and it will show you how I made this. But let's just go in here real quick just to verify. All right, so in here I made backgrounds automatically. I don't want that. So all right, we're going to turn the line background off. Let's save that. Edit, and we're going to go to back to James 1, 1 through 5. Let's search. All right, here we go. So again, this is with some more dabbling that needs to be done. But if I cut over to our second screen, you can see we have the same effect. All right, again, don't worry about the font size and all of those stuff. We can change that. So now if we do the same thing, turn on this, now you can see there's a bar that makes it stand out. You see your text there. You can do the same thing with songs as well. So let's go in here to our song. Let's change our cue. Let me turn this off here. And let's change this to lyrics. Let's use something that's public domain so I don't get in trouble. And I need to then pick a template. Lower. There we go. So now if we display this, and let's turn on let me go to, let me turn this off. We're going to turn on the camera, and then I'm going to do DSK1. So this is how you see the lower third while people are still talking. So you have live video still going on, but you can still have text and everything going on. So even if I was here in Worship Extreme, I can go to the next scripture or the song lyrics the exact same way. So it's the exact same features that are in Pro Presenter. It's more of a matter of choice, and it's a matter of cost. So again, if you are in a position to where you want to do scripture and lyrics on the screen, but budget is an issue, but your computer can actually do has internet connection, I would highly recommend Worship Extreme, because it's a easy way to get started. Doesn't cost you anything as long as you have internet access in your church, so that your computer that's running it has to have it so that you can do it. It's a nice start. It'll get you to the point where if you feel limitations, you could try to go to an upgrade option, and then that upgrade option, if that doesn't suit you, then you can always move to something else. I'm not so locked into one brand. I like offering different solutions to other people depending on your price range. So I hope that helps. And that was for let me go back to my comments here so I can remember who was asking that question. That was for Nigel DK. I hope that answered your question. So I think that's based off of the comment questions that I had. I had another friend, my buddy, out in New Jersey. I had a comment, but it looked like it was flagged as spam. But anyway, I had one of my friends, been friends from college for a long time. She does a lot of video stuff, and I suggested DaVinci Resolve, and she likes it, but she feels overwhelmed with it. And I know a lot of people follow what I'm doing. It seems a little bit over the top. So what I'm gonna do now is try and break down as simple as I can, just basic stuff with DaVinci Resolve on an editing standpoint. And again, I like DaVinci Resolve because they have their module, which is completely free, and everything that I've done from a video editing standpoint for video announcements, church DVDs, our on-demand stuff, every editing tool, edit video from our church for the last 2.5 years has been produced inside of DaVinci Resolve. So it is very capable. And I'm not even using the full extent of what can be done there. So let's go ahead. Excuse me. I'm going to open this up, and I'm actually going to go through what I actually do, a simplified version. And actually, while I'm doing that, let me go ahead and install Movie Maker, because that's what I had at a recommended for another church to do, because they weren't ready for DaVinci Resolve. So I want to show you how we can still do the same editing and video stuff in free tools like Movie Maker, which are more simplified, but as well as DaVinci Resolve. Oh, and once this is over, because I can't do it right now, I'm going to put a link to all the things that I have here, and I'm going to link you over to my blog, AJHolmes.com, and for anybody who is interested in Worship Extreme, partner with those great guys over there. They got me a promo code that I will have in the blog post, that I will have after this, once this live stream is over, that will knock off $100 in your price for their first year. So if it comes out to $300, if you got the top tier, it's only going to be $200 for the whole year. So thank y'all over at Worship Extreme. Really appreciate y'all, and that code will be there. So let's go ahead here. I am installing Movie Maker 10. But while that's up, I got DaVinci Resolve open, and let's get started with what I normally do. So I like having my stuff organized. In here, DaVinci Resolve, it runs off of a database type of layout, and that's kind of like my background. So right now, you could leave this as a file, kind of like a fancy Excel document if you want to, but I have it actually using this SQL database to manage everything. Keeps it organized, helps with size and all this other stuff. I'm assuming most of your projects aren't going to get that big, but hey, it is. I mean, you can even come in here and back up. So I would just start right here. This is my church. I have this organized to keep those things separate. Under here, I have multiple other templates here. I have promo, services, media, newsroom is the new one that I've been doing. So these are our 3 weeks of church announcements that I've been making. Helps me keep everything organized. All right, and all you have to do to make a new folder is you just click new folder down here, and you can call it whatever you want down here. So like, for example, I'll say funerals, because I've had to make a lot of memorial videos for some people in our church who may have passed, or family and things like that. So here's my folder. Here's a project of the last funeral one I did. I'm just going to drag and move it same way. Men's conference, that was last year. That was with a promo, so I'll just move that there. This was on demand. That was services. Pen, I can't even remember what that was. That was a couple of days ago. I think that's newsroom. So anyway, I like keep my stuff organized. So let's go ahead and click new project, today's date, which is going to be today's service, and create. All right, so let me switch to a single display, which will make this a lot easier for y'all to see. All right, so here is your main layout. Let me get rid of my camera so that y'all can see more here. So right here, this is, now I am running DaVinci, let me turn this on. I am running DaVinci Resolve 15, which is added Fusion, Fairlight, and some other features built in. So if you don't have all the buttons at the bottom, make sure you download the most recent version of DaVinci Resolve 15. All right, so when you first start off, you come down here, and I'm gonna go to media. Media is pretty much how you're gonna load everything there. So from right here, I've copied this over. Here's my E drive. Here's the service that I copied over. So this is just showing you everything that's in the path. Here is your pool for whatever video stuff that you're going to work on. So the easiest thing to do is you can right click, add into pool, or just drag it in there. This is your first pop-up. It's going to say the frame rate. And actually, I can't do it right here. Your video has a certain frame rate when you record it. 1080p, 720, 4K, Ultra HD, whatever, and then at a frame rate. 24 frames a second, 30 frames a second, 60 frames a second. It's saying that defaultly when you open up DaVinci Resolve, it's looking for whatever. I think it's 1080p at 30 frames a second. It's just saying the video that you picked doesn't match that. Do you want to change to match? I always say yes. So now my resolution that our church records at is at 1920 by 1080 at 29.97 frames per second. That's what that is. All right. Over here, just like we did at the beginning, you have an option of organizing everything. So you can right click in here and make a new bin. So you can do, like, I don't know, music, graphics, titles, whatever. And this is, I mean, you don't really have to do any of this. This is mainly just what I do to keep myself organized. All right. So here is my video. Now what I'm going to do is, I think Reverend Cabarrus preached. So I have used our own little template here a while ago to make lower thirds for all of our ministers so that I don't have to make them already. So I'm just going to find him. This is nothing but a collection of images. So it's 200 or 300 images, 000 all the way through 299. And they just play them like a slideshow. So all of these are just a slideshow. So I'm just, and I like DaVinci Resolve groups these together automatically. So I'm gonna drag this and put this in titles. I need to make an actual new one for our youth minister, but she's not in this section yet. So actually, I think I did have her here because she was a guest. Yeah, this is our new youth minister. So I need to update this to say youth minister here, and she's not a guest anymore since she's on staff now at our church. All right, I'll grab our pastor's title over here and our choirs here. The youth choir and the Sunbeam sang today, so I dragged them over, and they're the same way. It was a slideshow that was made in a template that we got from, I think it was the free monthly ones that come from Invatu. Got there, and as you can see, all of these have the same resolution and frame rate. They don't have to. It's best to keep them in the same range so that you don't have any issues. And again, this is just me loading all the stuff that I want in my project. And the last thing I'm going to load is my intro outro, and I'm going to put that under graphics. And I'm not really using music, so I'm actually just going to remove this. Remove bin. Yep. So I have everything that I need to do a video here. So now that I've loaded everything into my bin for my project. Let's go ahead and hit that save. Always save, even though, let me go this here too. I'm gonna go to preferences under users and project save. See, I have mine saved to back up every 5 minutes because I've learned the hard way. Again, that was under preferences, user, project save and load, and I have project backups, make a backup every 5 minutes. All right, so that was under the media here. I'm just loading up everything I need for a project. Now we're gonna go to edit. Now this is your timeline for you to lay out everything that's there. So I'm gonna go here, change my clip view. This one shows as many frames as possible that's inside your video. This just shows the starting image and the last image. And for my friend, this was the image I was talking about, media pool. Right now, you're like, what happened to all the media that I picked? If you come up here, click media pool. Now here's your folder structure and everything that you just had. And now you can just drag and drop. All right. So how do I get started? And this is the same way I've talked about before. So I'm gonna go here to graphics, to our intro outro. I'm just gonna drag it here. You can drag it to track 1 or track 2. I drag it to track 2 just based off of what I'm doing. Now, as you can see, it put 3 pictures here. I don't need that. So I'm gonna change this to only show the first and the last image in my video clip. And I'm gonna change the height of the video and audio. And I'm only doing that because I'm not doing this on dual screens. I normally do this on dual screens so I have plenty of space to do so I can see everything. But to make it easier for y'all, that's why I'm keeping it on one screen. All right, so as you can see, once you move your mouse over, you can have these little bars here. That's for fade in and fade out, the easy fade in and fade out. I like to drag that to 1 second. There, and I put my cursor right here, and then I press the letter M or press this button here to make a marker, and that way anytime I drag video it will snap here because of how to have that magnet turned on. All right, so let's go back to master, and now here's our main video. Double click on this and it's going to load it in your preview window. I'm going to scrub through this and find right where everything starts. I think I have everything unmuted here. Alright, so that's the youth singing, music ministry. Alright, that's when Pastor Sales comes up. So I just want to get a little bit of the music. I don't need all of it for our praise and worship. So right here, this is where I want the video to start. So you have your import, mark in, and mark out. This is where, even though I have a full clip, I only want to have a certain section of that full clip. So from here, I'm going to say start my video import right here. So I'm going to press I, the letter I, or I can press this button here. All right, so that means everything over here is going to be ignored. And let's do the same thing, find the very end. So I like to see right when he walks away. All right, because it's so close, I'm just going to let the whole thing go, and I'll trim this on the inside. All right. So now when I mouse over here, you see two icons. That's a video one, that's audio. Depending on where you drag, if you drag from right here, it's only going to bring the video itself. Or if you just do here, it's audio itself. So just click anywhere except for those two buttons and you'll bring both. Now remember that marker that we made. If I slide this over, see it snaps to the first place here. If I push it again, now it snaps to this one. See the line? Oh, let me move my screen so you can see. Alright, so see it snaps right here. Then it snaps to the next marker. I like to do that. Alright, now I'm going to fade my audio in for 1 second. So when I play, and you play by pressing this button from the program window or the space bar, and that will make everything play. Alright, see it just faded in there. Alright, now let's use our graphics. Oh, titles. Excuse me, I forgot where I had them. This is our youth choir. So let's put, I'm just dragging my lower third here that was pre-made. And it's already positioned to be here, but I can always move it by pressing this button here. And then you can rearrange whatever clip that you have highlighted. So if I have nothing highlighted, it's not going to move anything. But if I click this clip, now I'm moving that. All right. So let's play this and let's see how this looks. So we hit the space bar again just to play. Alright, so see it's right here, but I don't have a background here, so it's kind of difficult to see with all this stuff here. So let's click this icon, and then we can drag and move this wherever we need to so it's easier to see. And honestly, based off of all the arrangements on the pulpit, it's actually difficult to see anyway. So this isn't ideal, but I'll leave it here. Now, if you don't like this button, you can hit the inspector and you can type in the numbers here if you want to, or drag from here. As you can see, it's moving the same clip that I have selected around, up and down, X and Y axis. If you mess up, you can always hit this button and it will reset it back to what the image naturally is. You can change the zoom as well too, the rotation of it, anchor points, and all that other stuff. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and move it back here for right now. All right, I'm gonna let it fade out here, and that's all built into the slideshow that was made for those images. Hold on, let me bring my, did I close this by accident? All right, so that's that. I mean, that's all I'm doing is rinse and repeating of that. Really, it looked like it was a lot, but all I'm doing is dragging and dropping where I want and cutting off everything. I'm not even doing any quote unquote super editing yet. So I'm gonna zoom out so I can see my full clip. So this is the entire service. So I'm just jumping through here. That's the actual announcements. That's the Sunbeam Choir. So what I'll do here is the same way. I'm gonna pull the Sunbeam lower third here and just play that, play or the space bar. Get rid of the inspector so you can see both sides. All right, and that's good. All right, then the youth choir, I would just keep adding their stuff for the kids there. And you can change the volume here if that's too loud. Here's your volume for your clip. Let me turn that down. So here's the youth choir singing. So I'm gonna drag their title here. And it snaps based off of where you're at. So same situation because of the background, can't really do nothing about that. All right, there's the scripture as I showed y'all how we did picture on picture. Like I literally just showed y'all how y'all did it, and this is how us actually using it live in service. Skip ahead here, and at this point there's altar call, and we want to get to where the sermon is. There's Pastor Sales. Let's go ahead and put his name tag there, his lower third. I'm just dragging. Play that. See, I need to make all of these like this that has a background, a black background, so it makes them stand out. I need to do that at a later time. All right, so we're looking for when Reverend Cabarrus comes up. All right, it's right here. So let's zoom in, and this is what I like to do to make my job easier. I'm editing the entire full video, and then I'm gonna cut out the sermon and put that into a different video so I don't have to do a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do is find exactly where he's starting. All right, right here. And definitely, let me crank the volume up so I can see if he's talking too soft. All right, so that's where he's starting. So what I'm gonna do is hit this razor blade icon or the letter B, and I'm gonna cut. Sorry, that's my daughter coughing. She was asleep. Cut that video right there in half. So see, there are two separate videos now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna color this orange so I know that this is the sermon. All right, so let's jump all the way to the end. What I was trying to do at the very beginning. Let's find when he's done and he walks away. All right, so this is the end. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and move this to here because we don't need all this, because that's just talking, and we stopped recording the video anyway at the end of the service after the preachment was done. Now intro, outro. We're gonna do the same thing. So let's go back 1 second. Let's move our cursor here. I'm gonna press the letter M. Make some marker here and slide this, and it snaps here. Now we make 1 second. 1 second. So when it's done, all right, boom, that's the end of our service. So now all I have to do is come back here and look over the entirety of the sermon and put lower thirds for who's preaching. And Reverend Cabarrus doesn't move a lot, so he's going to be stationary. So I'm going to drag this here. All right, cool. And what I like to do is do it 3 times, right around the beginning, right before it ends, and then somewhere in the middle. So let's say we'll put it again, maybe right here, and then do half of this. So I'll just eyeball it. I'm not really trying to be specific. So maybe about there. All right, so that's the entire full service. Now what I like to do is we're going to make a new timeline. We're going to hit Control N, and we're going to call this online. All right, so that's our new timeline. So let's go, let's click here, and we can do everything in tabbed view. So now we can have multiple tabs for each project. So we already have the online one that we just made. Let's go ahead and click plus here and select the original, which we didn't give it a name, so it automatically was timeline 1. So let's zoom out, and we're gonna highlight everything that's in the orange area. All right, edit, copy, or Control C. We're gonna go over to the new online one. And just like we did before, we're gonna grab our intro outro, put that on track 2, zoom in. Let's zoom this for 1 second, another one for 1 second. Let's move our cursor right here, press the letter M for a marker. Then I move my, well, you can keep it right here, and now we're just going to do edit and paste. And if we did everything right, everything snapped right into place. Let's just fade this in for 1 second. And now we have our sermon by itself, and we have the entire service. All right, let's see, can we rename this? I don't worry about it. I should have did that from the beginning. So that's the entire service like I normally do. So it wasn't really nothing major to that. This is the same way, way more detailed when I make video announcements because I'm adding graphics and everything, but that's the same graphics that I did with the lower thirds. Act the exact same way. Drag it to where I want to. All right. So with all that being done, see, I haven't touched Fusion, which is like a 3D editor of adding 3D and special effects into it. We didn't touch color because we're not doing any color correction. Fairlight, that's more advanced of changing the audio, but I'm really not touching the audio. I'm of the mindset of get the audio fixed on the board so that you don't have to do this. And then, so I'm just using media, edit, and then deliver. So from here, I'm going to pick my template. YouTube and Vimeo honestly are exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter. Here, I pick the timeline that I want to render. I want to do actually the online first because it's shorter. Let's pick it, click it again, and then it carries the name over. Then I do underscore today's date. And then I'm going to put it on my RAID drive because that's faster. And honestly, at the church, I don't need this at that high bit rate. So I'm going to do it by half. Add to render. Boom. Now I'm going to pick timeline, the full service. Do it again, but I'm going to call this full, then today's date. Same drive. Change this to 5,000. Add. Save again, just in case. Select both clips that you want to render, then start render. And that's it. Now, again, this is a longer version of what most people would do. Like even from the YouTube videos that I made this, because it's a live stream, I don't really have to edit this because it's going live right now. But when I'm doing the other videos on my channel, I do the same thing, but most of these are condensed down. And honestly, doing my church service is the easiest because I really don't have to do anything, because the main mindset is when you're in media and you're doing video, especially live streaming, is to make sure that you get everything done right or as accurate as possible live, so it's less that you have to do in post-production. All right, so I want y'all to be on the lookout for some other videos that are coming up. Like, for example, I am upgrading my mom's computer, and I'm a big fan of the Ryzen 3 2200G. I use that as the base of all the computers that I normally work on, because most folks don't need something super, super massive for especially the task to run presentation stuff and video streaming and live streaming and stuff like that. But I wasn't paying attention. There was this that came out last year, the AMD Athlon 200GE. This is on the AM4 socket, so the same hardware that I normally pick, this will work, but this processor is about half the price of what I normally would do. So we're looking at maybe like $50 for this one. So for my mom's stuff of just Word, barely using email, and browsing the web, this should be more than enough. But what I have a video coming up once I finish building it, I'm going to test this to see how this performs with the presentation software and especially OBS. I want to see how good this is, because if it is, this will significantly drop the price of maybe by $50, $50 to $100 of what it costs for a live streaming PC. So it might even be less. So we'll see how that goes. Look out for the video for that. Like I said, look out for the video later this week for the Worship Extreme setup on a Mac. And look out for the Good Shepherd project tour of the entire church, since that project is wrapping up. I just have some contractors finishing up drywall and painting, and I have training going on. I might even live stream the training so that way they can watch it again from a complete media ministry that I've never done any type of live video production. That's what this church is going to be. So I hope y'all stand by for that. Realize that I always do this every Sunday. I hope you like this stuff. Please hit a like button there if you like this type of stuff. Subscribe and share, because we always need to learn more so we can spread the message here. And I'm here to help give y'all tips, strategies, and training to help improve your media ministry. This is AJ the CEO. Look out for the descriptions that I will have below. Make sure you check out ajayholmes.com, AJayHolmes.com, for more in-depth stuff that I have, as well, especially that discount code I was telling you about. It will be on a post coming once I finish this. So thank y'all again for watching. We'll check y'all later.